Sometimes there's just so much to get done and so much to be made ready. And a few days ago, on what some of us call Stir Up Sunday, we were there getting ready, stirring and making, and all the ingredients that we needed for the Christmas cake were gathered, and the kitchen was strewn with flour and all the paraphernalia. And it was at that moment, in the midst of all that joyous mess, that it struck us that we were home, that we were safe. We were in a place where we had those we wanted around us. And as we stirred the cake mixture and made wishes, the rhythm of the year continued for us, but not so for others. For in beautiful cities around the world, people's homes and workplaces, their schools and colleges, their hospitals lie pulverized to ruins. And so there are women and men, the aged and the young, the strong and those too weak who need others to carry them, on the move. And still they come. How desperate must you be to leave everything that's familiar, to take the risk of moving from where you cannot stay to an uncertain future, to entrust yourselves to those who could do you harm and those who might reject you. How desperate must you be? And still they come. According to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, in 2014, there were almost 60 million refugees and internally displaced people around our world. That's 1 in every 122 people worldwide who's been pushed out of their home. If they were a nation, they would be the world's 24th largest. Over half of them are children. And still they come, desperate people on the move and far from home. And while all of this continues to unfold, the season of Advent slips in beside us. A season of quiet passion and hope, so often drowned out by the joyous celebrations and all the wonderful bright lights of Christmas. But perhaps when our world is so disturbed and troubled, it is the season of Advent that we need. For in this season, the season of the coming, Christians reflect on the coming of Christ in all its manifest dimensions. And the Christian fathers used to delight in talking of the 3 comings of Christ. The first, his historical coming, as a baby and born to displaced parents, clothed in human skin and then wrapped in swaddling clothes and laid in a manger. His last, they talked of as him coming clothed in glory. But in between, something else, another coming, a secret coming, his coming to each one of us, those with eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to welcome, in whatever guise he comes. At his first coming, Jesus chose to leave everything behind, to venture to a place where he would be entirely dependent, as only a newborn baby can be. And he entrusted himself to us, knowing that we might just be the death of him. And today, maybe, just maybe, he entrusts himself to us again, coming in the refugee and the stranger, with those who are handed over into the hands of traffickers, into the hands of border guards, into our hands. Advent is a season, but it's also a spirit, the determination to search for the Jesus who comes, to watch for him as he sits and stretches tarpaulins in the Calais jungle, as he plays with children in the camps of Turkey and Lebanon, as he weeps in the streets of Syria and walks along the railway tracks of Europe. And still he comes. This Advent, may we have the eyes to see the Christ who comes in the distressing guise of the refugee, and the heart and the courage to welcome him. And may you have a joyous and blessed Advent and be wrapped in the kindness of the loving God who comes.